Malerie, and this is Between Generations. What stands between generations? Is it time? Is it morals? Is it experience? Are we living in the same world as the generations that came before us? Or have we redefined a new normal? In this series, we will dive into how we can heed the lessons of the past and integrate them into a life that will unite us all between generations. In this episode, we'll explore the spectrum of age gaps in relationships. What are age-diverse relationships like? Is true love enough to disregard a large age gap? Join us as we unpack all of this and more on today's episode, Intergenerational Romance.
Attraction is a varied and complex part of the human experience. What some are attracted to, others are completely put off by. Compounding those complexities are societal norms that tell us who is acceptable to love and desire. We're encouraged to stifle and question our natural romantic and sexual impulses towards others. But some people don't allow any of those outside influences or internal narratives to block them from finding love with someone who on the surface walks through the world very differently. But what are those initial moments like? Those moments of moving towards someone who is very different than you? How do you perceive them? I talked to 3 couples whose age gaps range from 7 to 33 years. We'll introduce you to Brooke and Noah, Shan and Corine, and Kuma and Floyd.
She had on a long leather skirt. It was a real nice sleek leather skirt, and she had a nice like bustier, had these little rhinestones. It was like am I lying?
No, you're right.
No, I remember. And I just thought she was just so fine. I was like, she is just so like foxy brown, like just so fine.
Oh,
it was just like a light or something. That's honestly what it was, and I just knew. I don't know. I just knew that's who it was, and it wasn't gonna be nobody else. And I chased her all throughout the club for like a good week, right?
Yeah.
She was easy. So a good week is all it took for me. You know, I'm writing on the board, girl, will you be my girlfriend? And of course, I think at the time, you say the age thing didn't matter, but I think at the time it did, because she was, you know, of course, not, you know, fitting into what I was giving her. We didn't talk. We didn't exchange words. What happened was we were walking towards each other. I was walking towards the door, and she was walking into the bar and kissed me on my neck. That's how it...
She didn't need to tell you that.
But that's how it started. Like, I saw her and I knew it, and then she came and kissed me on my neck, and then boom, like, you kissed me, we together. Like, that's how I know what's in my mind. Like, we together.
He had a nice little pickup line. It was, I'm older and quirkier. Would you be interested in going out with me? And that was his pickup line. And I said, well, I've done young and stupid. So yeah, I'll try older and wiser. So we'll see how that goes. So
I didn't know he was younger than me when we first started communicating, and we started texting each other. And I can't remember how it came up in conversation. I think maybe I just asked him like, how old are you? And at the time, he was 23 and I was 30. And I was just kind of like, whoa. Like, I wasn't expecting that, just because the way he like talks, he's like very mature, and the way he thinks, he's very mature. And so I was just kind of like caught off guard. But yeah, that's how that's what happened with me. I don't know what you thought.
Whenever, I don't know, like, whenever you told me, I was like, how old are you? Because I never went into it with like, oh, she's older, I'm about to get an older woman. I just thought she was, you know, attractive. I thought, you know, she had great qualities. And then I found out, I was like, oh. And then I ain't gonna lie to you, I was like, I'm winning. I'm pulling somebody older. You know what I'm saying? I was like, oh. But, you know, it just worked out, you know. But yeah, it wasn't really like I never went into it like she has to be 5-year age gap or whatever. It just you know, happened.
Although we don't typically think of age diversity in romance as a form of unconventional relationships at the outset, once it's brought into the forefront, concerns about what others may say and think definitely come up.
A lot of people like around me would be like, yo, like, does it not bother you that she's like a little bit older? She probably experienced some things you'll never get to experience. I'm just like, Nah, we have like organic conversation. A lot of like we still get to have fun and experience new things together. Like so, it never became a problem. It was never an issue for me.
My friends, they were just kind of like surprised because I had never dated. The only people I had dated before him were older than me. So like, not only was he not older than me, but he was like a lot younger than me. So they were just kind of like, I guess, kind of surprised, but they didn't like think it was a bad idea or anything like that. They were just like, oh, really? Like, wow. So.
Well, you always have people that give you these looks that you're not sure what they have behind that look, but you can guess that they're questioning, what is his motivation? What is her motivation? Yeah. And yet the people who knew us knew that we were coming from a place of honesty.
Yeah. So it was a little bit of like, oh, you got a sugar daddy, girl, you got yourself a sugar daddy kind of a vibe. And that was like the last thing I ever wanted anyone to think related to our relationship was that. And so I think that was probably like motivation. People like wondering why we're together. Is it a fetish thing? Does he just like, does he call you the N-word behind closed doors? You know what I mean? Like people just like
fantasy type.
Yeah. Like what is it really kind of a stuff? And I'm like, no, we just love each other.
Yeah, you get a scared look in the eye, or you get a smile.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
So outside of that,
and I love shaking them up, baby.
Yeah.
Okay. I'll be like, no, this me.
I love it. I love it.
Okay.
So yeah, that's been easy. Oh
yeah, it's nothing.
It's nothing.
Though each couple faces challenges and narratives unique to being in an age-diverse relationship, each couple held common benefits to being with someone who was significantly older or younger that others may not see at the outset.
I didn't really know what to expect from a culturally different person, and I found it not only from her, but her friends and her social group, very positive, very accepting. And I love that part of it.
Yeah. And for me, he gave me a lot of like stability and just matured my thinking. So, saving money, do the 401k, think about, it's just like, take better care of your finances, like think about things that are going to really make a difference in your life. And so it was just kind of an elevation for me of like my thinking. It was great.
We kind of talked about like his maturity. So yeah, that was one thing that I didn't really know what to expect. He was going to be mature, immature, and then he just so happened to be more mature than like most guys my age. So that was like definitely a positive. I would also say that because he was younger than me and hadn't like experienced as much, he came into the relationship like he didn't have a whole lot of like baggage, which I think when you're, in your 30s, you've been in relationships and you've gone through things, and I didn't really have to like deal with a whole lot of that with him. That was like a positive.
Being like older, like a lot of like her growth process, I didn't how like when you're younger you have to experience things for your own. You have to kind of like step out of character to figure out if that's who you really are. She pretty much knew who she was. She knew what she wanted, and she wasn't like playing any games. So she was like how a lot of mostly young people do. So like having her like experience a lot of different things in life, she brought herself to the table. She wasn't trying to like play to any kind of like facade or anything. So it was really refreshing to be around somebody who's genuine and like knows who they are.
For me, I think she kept me busy. She kept me sparked. So it was kind of like exercising of the soul, because you had to keep going and the energy was higher than mine. So for me, that was like a plus.
I kept you young.
Yeah.
It's in the fountain of youth.
Fountain of youth. Yeah, look at that. Yes. And for you?
And for me, she was stable. And You know, she knew what she wanted in life, and I was on, I was on the peak of going towards that way. So it just fit. It just fit. Like, I don't know, it just made sense. It just made sense.
Love is not about weighing the pros and cons of society. It's not about the benefits and downsides of a person, but instead about moving towards the person that brings intrigue and inspires happiness, growth, and stability. Age gaps are not a challenge to overcome, but an experience to hold with openness and curiosity. Because like these couples, you may discover a profound connection that goes much deeper than what can be seen and counted on the surface.
Thanks for joining us on today's episode of Between Generations. Every relationship is unique in its own way, and today we have learned that intergenerational relationships are no different. If you like this video, make sure to hit the like button and press subscribe. Remember to have all notifications on so you don't miss a single episode. Again, I'm your host Malerie, and be sure to join us every other week on YouTube for Between Generations.